Hey there, and welcome to Mat with Towel. We're going to be spending the next 15 minutes or so doing a full body mat workout using our towel for some of the exercises. So make sure you grab yours and I'll meet you on the mat. We're going to start by stretching our hamstrings today, and we can use the towel to help with that. If you have a strap or a resistance band at home, you can also use that as well. So just roll your towel up nice and skinny, nice and long. Lie back on your back. Right foot up. Towel wraps around it, and then reach that right leg high towards the ceiling. Try to soften those shoulders down into the mat as best you can. Square your hips. Try to make your tailbone a little bit heavier than your low back. And then once you get settled, go ahead and lengthen your left leg out long on the floor. Keep your left leg active, even though it's not going to be doing anything right now. It's still active, and you can either point or flex it to keep it so. Then slowly start bringing your right leg towards you, little by little, sinking into that stretch, getting deeper and deeper. And when that right leg does not want to come any closer to you, that's fine. Go ahead and hold it and breathe. Try to release into the stretch. Flex your right foot, reaching the heel up towards the ceiling, and go into that slowly. So you can ease in little by little. And then start making your little movements. So you can move your leg in a circle. You can do lines back and forth. Just move that leg around. Noticing how you can get the stretch to increase and decrease. Look around for the place where you get the best stretch today, wherever that is. And when you find it, go ahead and hold on to it. And we're going to take 5 deep breaths. Once you're done with your deep breaths, back your leg off a little so that stretch isn't quite so intense. And cross your leg over your midline, moving into another intense stretch. The right hip is going to stay really heavy on the ground. You're going to feel this on the side of the leg, and you're going to feel it rather quick, so that leg's not going to go very far. And then bring your right leg back up to center. Keep your left hip heavy on the ground. Open your right leg off to the side, moving the stretch into the right inner thigh. And then bring your right leg back up to center. Bend your knee and release that right foot to the floor. Bring your left foot up into the towel. Stretch it up. Square your hips. Soften your shoulders. And then lengthen your right leg out long on the floor, pointing or flexing that foot the whole time. All right, slowly start bringing your left leg in towards you. Little by little, easing into that stretch. And slowly flex your foot, reaching your heel up. And then you can make your little movements with your left leg. Exploring around, looking for the best stretch today. Wherever that is. It doesn't have to be in the same area that the other leg was. Once you find that best stretch, hold it in 5 deep, slow breaths. When you're done, gently back out of that stretch, cross this leg over the midline. Take your time. And then next, open your left leg off to the left side of your room. Right hip stays anchored to the floor. All right, bring your left leg up towards the ceiling again. Bend your knee and bring that left foot to the floor. Right foot comes up to the floor to meet it. All right, hold your towel in your hands, reaching it up high towards the ceiling. I want you to have a gentle pull on your towel the whole time. Pull more with your upper arms than you do with your hands. So if you can manage that, keep it up. That's going to be really good for your shoulder muscles. All right, now as you exhale, the rib cage is going to melt down into the mat and also reach down towards your pelvis as you bring this towel above your head, reaching towards the wall behind you. And then arc the towel back up towards the ceiling. Exhale those lungs and empty those lungs. Rib cage goes down towards the floor, down towards your pelvis, and the towel stretches away from the rib cage. Arc it back towards the ceiling. Every exhale, reach back. Every inhale, return. Keep that consistent pull on the towel. Now as your arms are reaching back, lengthen your right leg out towards the wall in front of you, trying to maintain your nice level pelvis. Rib cage, down, down, down. Return to your starting position. Reach your towel back, lengthen that left leg out towards the wall in front of you, and return. All right, keep alternating side to side. Remember, pull the towel with those upper arms. Reach your leg with lots of energy. So it's not just straightening, it's actually trying to touch the wall in front of you. One more time for each leg. And return both feet to the floor. You're still holding the towel up above your face. Let's drop the towel over to the right, knees over to the left. Sink into that twist. Pull on the towel. Pull a little bit more with that left arm. Reach through your right hip. Pull everything back to center. And drop to the two opposite sides. And pull a little bit more with that right arm. Remember, initiating from up high. Reach through that left hip. Pull everything back to center. Go ahead and go side to side on your own. Letting those legs be heavy. Dropping into that stretch a little bit more each time. Next time you come up, you can stay up. Reach the towel behind your head, place it on the floor, slide your hands under your head. Press your arms into the mat, just enough that you feel the arms engaged, not so much that you're going to leave an imprint on your mat. You can imagine if you have like if you were laying on memory foam, we don't want to leave an imprint. We just want to get those muscles to turn on. Then tuck your chin towards your chest. Fold at the rib cage, curl your head, neck, and shoulders up. Look down between your knees at the wall in front of you, and slowly bring your head back down to the floor. Tuck your chin, fold at the rib cage, lift it up. Try to keep those arms engaged the whole time. So if at any point you come down and you want to re-engage them, press them into the floor and then lift them up a little bit. Curl the head, neck, and shoulders up. All right, keep it up. When you're ready, add in the legs. So as you curl the head, neck, and shoulders up, one leg reaches long, just like it did before. Lots of action through that leg. Return to start. Curl up, reach the other leg. Return to start. As you're curling up, glance down at your low belly. You want to maintain the levelness from left to right and from your belly button to your pubic bone. So a nice level surface here. Add a twist when you're ready. One shoulder up and over towards the opposite hip. Leg straightens, come back down. Hold whichever side you've got next. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down, lift up and over to the other side. Hold it strong for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring it down. Take an inhale to rest. Let everything just relax. And then press your elbows into the floor. Keeping that muscular engagement through the arms. Now lift the elbows up about 1/2 inch off the floor. Curl your head, neck, and shoulders up. Feet are going to stay right where they are. Then take your right arm and swoop it off to your side like you're making a big semicircle, and try to bring that right hand down towards your right foot. And come back to center. Slide that right hand behind your head, and now your left arm's going to reach out, your side bending to the left, trying to touch your left foot. Come back to center, over to the right. Switch back and forth. Try to get a true side bend. So in other words, try to keep your head at the same level. Even though your head is sliding to the left and then to the right, it's not moving up any further. It's not moving down any further. One more time each side. Good. Release your head to the floor, arms to your side. Pull your belly button down towards the mat. And then slide it up the inside of your spine. So you can think of the inside of your spine as an elevator. And the belly button is down on floor 1. So we're entering the elevator by pulling our belly button down towards the mat. And then slide that belly button up the elevator. As you do, rock your pelvis towards you. Slowly start rolling up your spine. Hips to the ceiling, knees reaching towards the wall in front of you. Exhale on your way down. As smooth as you can go. Good, and then let your belly button come out of the elevator so it can go back in. So the belly button draws down, entering the elevator, and then the elevator starts to go up the inside of your spine. That rocks your pelvis. That gives you a great start to a bridge. Go ahead and do about 3 bridges on your own. Chest is staying open, so shoulder blades are resting back on the mat. And wherever you're at, next time you're up, stay up. Hips high. Then lift your heels up. Place your heels down. Lift your toes up. Place your toes down. And by toes, I mean the whole front of your foot. So your toes and the ball of your foot. So heels up and come down. Toes up and come down. Keep switching and try to maintain the most stable bridge you can. So not a lot of up and down in the pelvis or the rib cage. If your feet start walking out from underneath you and they start getting further and further away, curl your toes under and then just scoot your feet back. It's good work for the toes. And do a few more. All right, both feet to the floor. Completely roll down your spine little by little, all the way through that low back, all the way into the tailbone. All right, up we go again. Hips high, knees reaching ahead. Dip the right hip down. So the bridge is tilting over towards the right, but then we pick it up into the nice high, tall, level bridge. Dip the bridge to the left. Lift it back up, nice and level. To the right, up, to the left, up. Keep going. Try to keep even weight in your feet and even weight in your shoulders. You pay a lot of attention there. One more time each side. Find your center bridge, slowly bring it down. Land your tailbone to the floor. All right, bring one leg up to a tabletop position and then the other. Pull your belly button down towards the floor, bringing that belly button into the elevator. And then pull that elevator up your spine, letting your pelvis rock towards you, letting your low back press into the floor a little bit, and then let it go. Pull the belly button towards the mat. Pull the belly button up your spine, rock your pelvis towards you, let it go. Try that a couple times. So basically, we're just doing the very beginning of the bridge here, when we start with the pelvic tilt. But now, wait, remember what that feels like. So do one more. Remember what the abdominal muscles feel like. Because now I want you to do it without moving your pelvis. So it's isometric. The muscles are engaging, but the bones aren't moving. Your tailbone is heavy, low back is light. Pull your belly button down towards your spine. Nothing changes with the structure of your pelvis. And then pull your belly button up the inside of your spine. Maintain that. Keep pulling it up, keep pulling it up, keep pulling it up. As you do, tap one foot down to the floor, lift it back up. Tap the other foot down to the floor, lift it back up. If at any point you feel like you lose that really good engagement of your core, you can reset the belly muscles. So you can do your elevator trick again. Just keep tapping one foot at a time. Check in with your rib cage. You want your rib cage down towards the floor and going down the elevator towards your pelvis. Last one. And then pull your right knee deep into your chest. Reach your left leg long on the floor. Stretching your right leg as far from your left leg as you can. Flex the left foot. Reach towards the wall in front of you. And then point the left foot, reaching towards the wall in front of you. Flex it and point it. And then choose which position you like better. And it can be for any reason. But choose, stay there. That leg's going to stay active no matter which position you chose. Hug your right knee over towards your right shoulder. Hug your right knee over towards your left shoulder. Right hip can come up, right shoulder stays down. Hug that right knee into center again. And then release your right leg long on the floor. Pull your left knee in. And flex that right foot and point the right foot. Back and forth. Choose the position you like better, and it can be different than the other leg. So hold your position. And hug that left knee over towards your left shoulder. Hug the left knee over towards your right shoulder. Right hip can come up, left hip can come up, left shoulder can stay down. Pull your left leg back to center. And then as you're releasing the left leg, I want you to pull the right leg in. So we're going to switch back and forth, whether you're flexed or pointed. Probably helpful to do the same position for both legs at this point. And we're just trying to stretch those legs as far from each other as possible. And whichever side you're on, pause, curl your head, neck, and shoulders up. You can be in a neutral spine or an imprinted spine here, as long as you keep it consistent, and we're going to stay stable in the spine and the pelvis. All right, here we go. Switch again. And switch. One leg pulls in, one leg reaches along. We're trying to stretch those legs as far away from each other as possible. So either your tailbone is heavy on the floor and your low back is light, or your low back is heavy on the floor and staying that way. Shoulders are staying rather still. They're not wiggling and wobbling as your hands move. Same with your head. Hold this one for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch and hold it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take your hands behind your head. Pedal your bike. And again, you can choose a neutral or an imprinted spine here. Let your hands cradle your head. Your head is just relaxed. Reverse. And then we're going to take it into the crisscross. Probably best to be in a more neutral spine position, so heavy tailbone, light low back. Right shoulder towards the left hip, right leg long, and switch. And switch. And don't just straighten the leg, reach it. Like you get a cash reward if you touch your toes to the wall. So keep reaching. Hold this side for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch and hold this side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bonus round. Switch and hold it again for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One last switch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. Hug your knees in. And rock your knees side to side. You can rock your head side to side too. All right, bring your feet back down to the floor. Take your right leg up, high towards the ceiling, just like we did for hamstring stretches, only this time no towel. Square your hips, soften your shoulders, and then it's optional if you want to lengthen your left leg out long. Makes these a little bit harder. Take your right leg, cross it over your midline, circle it down and around and up. Cross your midline, down and around and up. Try to keep your pelvis still, or at least as still as possible. And by keeping your pelvis still, you're engaging those belly muscles. I don't want you gripping and tensing through your body in order to hold it still. Reverse the direction when you're ready. If it's hard for you to tell if you're keeping your pelvis still, bring your focus up to your shoulders and the backs of your arms and down into your hands. If you feel like you're keeping the weight even, you're probably doing a pretty good job. Bring that right leg up to center, flex your foot, lower it down. Reach through that heel the whole time. Point your toes, kick that leg up, flex or reach through the heel, lower, 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 lower. Point up, flex, bring it down. One more time, point it up, flex, bring it down. And then pull that heel in towards you, place your right foot on the floor. All right, left leg up, same thing. This side might be different though. Square your hips, soften those shoulders, have your arms be on the floor so you get that feedback. If you'd like, you can now lengthen your your right leg. All right, left leg crosses the midline, down and around and swoop it up. Down and around, swoop it up. If that right leg is long on the floor, keep it active, so flex or point it. Reverse the direction. Bring that left leg to center, reach through the heel, lower it down. Point, kick it up. Flex, lower it down. Point, kick it up. More times. And then bring that leg all the way to the floor. You're nice and long. Shake your legs out, in and out, and in and out, and in and out, and in and out, and in and out. Stop. Curl your head, neck, and shoulders up. Just look down at the rotation that you have naturally in your hips. And just notice if it matches side to side or if one foot turns out a bunch more. And this is just for information. Go ahead and come down. Slide your feet back up to the starting position. All right, so hip mobility. Hip mobility, super important. Let's take our hands to our hip bones or our low belly, just where we can get some feedback that we're staying neutral and still. Open the right knee off to the side. Open it like a book. Open as much as you can without letting the pelvis lift up over there on that left side. And close that leg. Right kneecap is pointing towards the ceiling again. Left knee opens. Right hip stays heavy. Now, I know this seems like a simple movement. I mean, if somebody was watching you, they would be like, yeah, really? This is what you do for exercise? But I want you to focus in and really get into those super deep core muscles. I know you guys know what they are. And really open that leg. Press right up to that edge when your pelvis is going to get involved. This one's more of a mindful, meditative exercise. Gather information. Is it smoother on one side than the other? Are you able to go further on one side than the other? Do you have more awareness in one side or the other? All right. One more time. And then both kneecaps pointing up towards the ceiling. All right, lift the fronts of your feet up. And open them out, place them down, lift your heels, open them out, place them down. Toes out, heels out, toes out, heels out, toes in, heels in, toes in, heels in, toes. And keep going. And go fast. Even faster. Even if that makes the movement less perfect. As fast as you can. Out and in and out and in. As far out as you can go, as far in as you can go. Until you start feeling a good burn in your ankles. Maybe up your shins and in your calves. Keep going. A few more. You can do it. I'm pushing you today. All right, and with your feet nice and wide. I think that's the longest we've done it. Take your left knee, drop it down into your midline, and I want you to go down as far as you can without that left knee getting upset. So if you feel any vulnerability, discomfort, or of course pain, back it off. Otherwise, just encourage that left knee to just reach to the mat. Your left hip will come up off the floor. Try to keep your left shoulder heavy on the floor though. That way you get a nice little twist in your spine too. Gentle little twist. Okay, bring that left kneecap so it's pointing up towards the ceiling and drop your right knee in. Encouraging that knee all the way down, but listen, don't pressure it. Bring that right kneecap back up. We're going to go faster, but the leg that is not rotating inward, I want that kneecap to point towards the ceiling the whole time. Okay? So, left knee down, left knee up, right knee down, right knee up. Keep going and see if you can open up that mobility a little bit more each and every time. Notice if one side is smoother than the other. And it would be interesting to know if it's the same side that was smoother when we were opening out, or is it the different side? One more time each side. Good, knees up towards the ceiling. Walk those feet on in. Lengthen your legs long on the floor. Reach behind you. Hopefully your towel's still there. Hopefully it didn't get bored and leave. Grab it. We're going to have a gentle, consistent pull on that towel the whole time. Legs are long and feet are flexed. Heels anchored into the ground. We're going to roll up to sitting. Now, try to keep your upper arms in line with your ears as much as possible. If you can't, you can bring your arms forward, but then get them right back in line. So as much as you can, maintain that alignment. Ready? Let's go. Start peeling your spine up, reaching your towel up towards the ceiling and then towards that wall in front of you. When you get up, dive up and over your lap, making a C curve with your spine. Your arms are going to remain parallel to the floor, so your ears and upper arms are in line with each other. Stack your spine up, sit tall. Scoop your belly, so make that belly button go into the elevator. And then as you're rolling down your spine, that elevator is going up the inside of your spine all the way to the top. Let's go again. Maintain that pull on your towel. Remember, it's coming from the upper arms, not the hands. Dive up and over your lap, arms parallel to the floor. Stack up into a nice tall tower. Belly button enters the elevator. Elevator starts pulling that belly button up the spine, okay, even as you're rolling down. Good, go again. You can go at your own pace. Keep those legs active. They're doing their part. We're going to end sitting, so whenever you get there next, you can stay. Bend your knees so your heels are on the floor. Toes might or might not be, depending on your ankle flexibility, but heels stay on the floor. Bring the towel down in front of you, so you're looking right at it. Roll back, belly button into the elevator, then belly button travels up the inside of the spine, but we're going to stop about halfway. Pause there, elevator stuck, and then lift the towel up towards the ceiling, bring it back down, trying to keep everything in your body stable except your breath. 4 times. Towel up, towel down. One more time for me. Towel up, towel down. Towel's in the down position. As you roll back up to sitting, lift the towel towards the ceiling, lower it back down in front of you, roll back again. Then you can go to the same point or back a little bit further for lift and lowers. Body staying stable and strong. Heels staying connected to the mat. Towel's in the down position as you roll up. Once you get up, towel reaches towards the ceiling. Bring the towel back down in front of you. Roll down. And then maintaining even weight in your heels, twist towards your left. Bring your left hand down towards the floor. And then come back to center. Twist towards your right. The side of your right hand comes down towards the floor. And back to center, to the left. Keep even weight in those heels. Keep those kneecaps still. No tilting side to side. One more time. Roll it up. Towel lifts overhead. Press your arms down so the towel comes down in front of you. Roll back. We're going to do it one more time. 3 or 4 switches, or 3 or 4 times for each side. Twist is coming from your midsection, not your shoulders, not your legs. Whenever you roll it up, finish off by reaching the towel up above your head and then pressing it back down in front of you. Lengthen your legs out long and get yourself right up on top of those sits bones. So you're sitting tall, shoulders down. All right, twist towards your right, pull your right elbow back behind you, reach your left arm out long in front of you like you're pulling on a bow and arrow, and return to center. If you need to adjust where your hands are, feel free. All right, twist to the left, pulling your left elbow back, reaching that right arm long in front of you, and bring it back to center. This one's just like single leg stretch. Remember when we were pulling one leg in and reaching the other leg, and I kept emphasizing, get them as far from each other as possible. Same idea here. One more time each side. Come back to center, dive up and over your legs. You can loop that towel around your feet and it can help you stretch your hamstrings. Fold over your lap. Try to relax your shoulders. Try to find as much of a consistent C curve in your back as possible. If you're aware of the part of your spine that doesn't like to move very much, the part that feels stuck when you're in a bridge, inhale and send all your breath to that one specific area. And then roll yourself up to sitting. Put your towel off to the side. Hands on the mat behind you, fingertips pointing forward or out to the side. Just keep your shoulders open. And lift the hips, press the soles of the feet towards the floor. Ready, set, go. Keep reaching the soles of the feet down. That's gonna maintain those high hips. Look at the wall in front of you. And now if you want, lift your right leg up. Woo! I did it for the first time the other day. I'm so happy. Lift your other leg up. Woo! Your goal is to lift and lower the leg without letting your hips bob up and down. So that's what I'll work on this week. One more each side. Pelvis to the floor, fold over your lap, stretch those wrists. Let's try 2 more times. Up you go. Lift and lower any amount, even if it's in your imagination. Hips to the ground when you're ready. Fold over your lap, stretch your wrists. Okay, one more time, guys.
Trying not to let one side sag down.
Fold over your hips. Stretch your wrists.
And come on up to sitting.
All right, and then up to your knees. So we're gonna do a plank. It's gonna get hot. Hands to the floor. And then legs out long behind you, toes are curled under. Shoulders are over the wrists. Try to find your neutral position here. So even though you're in that downward slope, your spine's still in all its neutral curves. All right, here we go, the serratus push-up. So the only thing that's gonna change is your spine is gonna come about an inch closer to the floor. And then you're gonna press into the floor. Your spine's gonna lift and lower and lift. You'll also feel your shoulder blades drawing together on your back and then moving away from each other on your back. A few more. And then back to your knees, back to a child's pose. Rest your wrist. Let's try that again. Up in your plank position. Find your neutral. And then belly muscles in to support you. Spine down, spine up. It's not changing shape. It's just moving in space. Shoulder blades together, shoulder blades apart. And then rest down at your knees. Press it back, quick child's pose. And then come onto your belly. All right, rest your forehead on your hands. Pull your belly button up as if it's entering that elevator again. And then pull it up your spine. That will rock your pelvis so your hip creases press into the floor. Maintain that position as you lift one leg up. Lower it down. Lift the other leg up. Lower it down. Keep alternating. Go a little bit faster. Lift from the hamstring. So lift from the back of the upper leg. Let the lower leg and the foot just follow along. Now lift a leg, keep it up, take it out to the side, squeeze it in. Out to the side, squeeze it in. Squeeze that leg in, point those toes, try to reach the wall behind you, and do little circles, about 10 in each direction. Whenever you're done, that leg goes down, other leg lifts, out to the side, squeeze it in. Okay, squeeze it in, leave it in, point those toes, reach those toes towards the wall behind you, draw your circles. Whenever you're done with those circles, lower both, make sure both legs are on the floor, and relax. All right, we're going to focus on the upper body now, but those legs are going to still be active, even though they're not necessarily moving or doing anything. We're going to keep them active. So belly button up, hip creases press into the floor, legs engage, they're staying on the ground. Then lift your upper body up, lower down, lift up, press it down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, belly button pulls in even more. Hip creases press down into the mat even more as you lower it down. Draw those shoulder blades down your back. Give your ears a ton of space. Add in the twist when you're ready. So lift, twist, peek underneath one elbow. Press it down to the mat. Other side, press it down into the mat. Last one. Come on down, rock your head side to side. And then press yourself back into a child's pose with nice wide knees. Sink down between those inner thighs. Your arms are out long in front of you, palms on the floor. And then pretend that your hands are glued on the mat. They're not going to move. But I want you to lift the elbows up off the floor. So you're pressing your hands down more, lifting the elbows up. And then pull your hands towards you as if you were able to slide them towards you. And feel all that engagement in the back of your shoulders. Release. Let's try that again. Press your hands into the floor. Lift your elbows up. Notice what that sensation feels like. Already your arms are working. And then pull your arms towards you. Good, and release one more time. We're going to take this up into a downward dog position in a moment. So again, just really pay attention to what it feels like to do each of those things because we're going to be in a different position. All right, press your hands into the mat. Lift those elbows. Get that muscular energy going in the arms. And then pull your hands towards you. And release. All right, up to a nice triangle position or downward dog. And while you're here, try to line your ears up with your upper arms, just like we were trying to do for the roll up. It's a little bit easier here. All right, this is the hardest part. Press your hands into the floor more and then try to find that lift in your elbows, just like we did in child's pose. And then try to slide your hands towards you. Feel those shoulder blades moving, in this case, up your back, towards your pelvis. Okay, we're going to hold the downward dog position, but you can release all that work for a moment. And then we're going to do it again. Press your hands more into the floor. Lift those elbows up away from the floor. And then pull your hands towards you. And then release. Go ahead and come on down. One more child's pose. So back to your heel or to your toes. Walk your arms over to the left, your arms and your upper body over to the left. Keep reaching that right hip back towards the wall behind you so you get a really good side bend over there on the right side. And then walk your hands to center, walk your hands over to the right. The left side gets a good stretch. Walk it back to center. Pull your belly button towards the wall behind you. Drag your hands. They're no longer glued, so they're going to drag towards you. Roll up your spine. One vertebrae at a time. All right, come up to sitting. Either on the mat or in a chair. We're going to do a couple more side bends. So right arm up, left hand on the floor next to you. And we're lifting up and out that right side. So we're trying to get as much length there as possible. Stay heavy in your right hip. Keep a slight lift in your left side. So we're not crunching in, collapsing in. We have that lift, lots of space. And to come out of it, stack your rib cage back up over your pelvis. Your arm will follow. And then go over to your other side. Big stretch through that left side. Notice how your rib cage is compared to your pelvis right now. And then use those core muscles to pull your ribcage back up. Back to the first side. And pull your ribcage back up. Side bend to the right. Pull it back up. Side bend to the left again. This time we're going to add a little twist. So bend to the side first, and then twist down, trying to square your shoulders with the floor as much as you can. Untwist and stack your ribs up. Over to the right. Rotate, looking down, trying to get your shoulders to square. Open back up. And stack yourself up on top of your pelvis. Thanks everybody for joining me and my towel today. And I'll see you next time. Bye.